Hello there and welcome. I'm Peggy. Well, are you ready to get out your suitcase and pack? I'm always ready. And we're going to talk about using your time and your money wisely and planning vacations for families, single people, whatever is there. And I have the expert here. Linda Young is here, and she, of course, is a travel expert, and she owns Young Travel. Thank you, Linda, for giving us your expertise today.
Thank you, Peggy. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you for inviting me.
You know, this time of year, I think people start thinking about that.
Oh, absolutely. I think the worse the weather is, the more they want to go somewhere warm.
Well, not only that, but with school coming out and summer coming along, people are thinking about, and to take a trip as a family sometimes is a real adventure.
Absolutely.
And the memories that you create and that your children, when they're grown, they still remember and talk about.
Yes, yes. There are several ways that we help families plan to go places together. I've got a book here, in fact, where a family decided they would go to Africa together.
Oh my goodness, look at that. And this is their book?
This is their book. The grandparents decided they wanted to celebrate their 50th wedding anniversary with their children and their grandchildren.
Oh my.
And so they planned this trip to Africa. We have a wonderful safari guide.
Family adventure.
And so they did, I think they had 14 people in their family. And so they all took off for Africa. Oh. And they made their own photographs, and they came home and put this book together. So it was a wonderful adventure, and they all loved it, from the youngest to the oldest. I don't think you could even judge who enjoyed it the most. It was something that was...
Now you help people plan holidays, vacations, and to use their money and their time wisely.
Yes, yes.
There's nothing worse than spending your money and standing on a street corner and saying, well, what am I going to do now?
Absolutely. We work with our clients to help them do what they enjoy the most. We try to find out what gives them the most pleasure when they're traveling. What type of things do they enjoy the most? And then we help them put it together in whatever manner suits them. There's so many different ways that you can travel. You can travel by water, you can travel by car, bus, many, many options. And everyone's different. Everyone has different needs. So it's our job to find out, who are they? What do they want? What do they like? Frequently, they don't know what they want, but we try to help them discover what would be the best kind of trip for them based upon where they're going, who they're going with, what family members are going, if their children going, or whoever.
Well, now you own Young Travel.
Yes.
And you've had 28 years in the travel business.
That's right, Peggy.
And you've been a lot of places.
I have been almost everywhere in the world.
That is exciting. Yeah.
Yes, and so.
But it's important for people to plan ahead and not just spend their time and money and then stand over some street corner in a foreign country and say, oh, what am I going to do? You need to plan your time.
Well, travel is expensive. Not only the flights, but the hotels are very expensive. Even after you get there, your meals are expensive, and transportation and so forth, and it just makes sense to plan it in advance.
Well, now what is better, to travel? I mean, there are lots of groups, tours, that everything is done for you. And that is appealing to many people. They don't have to worry about it.
There are a lot of different ways you can travel, and that's part of our job, is to find out what suits whom the best on the particular trip they're planning. They can join a group tour. We can custom design a trip just for them. Like the Africa trip was just for this family of 14.
Yeah.
And we can custom design a trip just about anywhere in the world for one person or for 50 people or whatever, although we usually work with smaller groups than 50.
Okay, but if somebody is maybe just by themselves, it's better to be with a group, I would think.
It is. Usually people who are traveling by themselves
Or
or
as a
just a
couple.
couple,
Yeah.
they will usually join another group. That usually works the best. Or you know something, a lot of our clients do is they will decide to go on a cruise. And then from the cruise they will be doing tours every day in each different port. But on the ship, then they will have companionship because they'll be surrounded by other people. They'll have dinner with other people. They'll meet people constantly. And there are a lot of people who travel on cruises who are just couples and nobody else traveling with them. So that is a very good way to travel. That's the easiest way to travel. And you
Now,
wake up in a new place every day.
how did you've been in the travel business for 28 years? How did you get involved in this?
I had a dream. I was a realtor, and I just decided I wasn't getting to travel as much as I wanted to because real estate was tying me down too much.
Yeah.
And so I said, you know, I need to be a travel agent so I can
So you
travel
can enjoy.
while I'm working.
So many times when you are helping other people plan trips, there are places you have already been. So you can bring your expertise to help them.
Exactly. In fact, many or most of the trips that I plan, I've been there and done that. And so I'm very familiar with these places. So when I'm talking to a client about what do they want to do, what do they like, what do they enjoy, I've been to all of these places, and so I can choose the things that they're telling me they like because I've been there and I've seen them and I've done them.
That's exciting. It really is to have that opportunity. And, you know, when somebody's looking to plan a trip, many people say, well, it costs more if you go to a travel agent. But in truth, you save people money because you know all the little ins and outs and where something might be a special running, right?
Exactly, yes. And again, we're tailoring everything to suit them instead of just giving them a cookie cutter trip that may not be what they want. So we can specialize everything. We can choose the specials that suit them. We can help them get the best price on their airline tickets. We can get the best schedules on the airline tickets. We can make sure they get there as well as we can without having total control over the airlines. We try to second guess them and their schedules and what they're doing.
Well, I mean, we're kind of heading into the season now where travel is going to be important more than ever. It's always important to me. I'll go any place anybody asks me. But I think if school is out, summer, families are thinking, what are some of the opportunities out there that not only for fun, but for education, for children? If you can afford to go as a family, and many times there are cost savings if you can go as a group, right?
That's very true. There is one company that we work with on a regular basis that we just love that does trips for children. They do
children?
multi-generational trips
Oh my.
that is planned for grandparents, parents, and children. And they have all of these fun trips. They'll take you out to the Grand Canyon and you'll go jet rafting. You'll do all of these fun activities that you might not ever do on your own, but when you can do it with your grandchildren, you think, oh sure, I'll do that. And the kids just love it and the grandparents do too.
So you can, the important thing is to pre-plan, to save money and time.
Absolutely. All the really good group trips sell out way ahead of time, maybe a year ahead.
Oh, no, really?
Oh, yes. Even sometimes you can get into them at a later time, but they will start selling way ahead of time. And so if you plan ahead, you get your choice. You don't have to take what's left over. You can get the best rooms in the hotel. And when I mean the best rooms, the best room for one client may be the least expensive. And the least expensive will sell out. The least expensive and the most expensive will sell out. So,
Of course, yeah.
so what's left over is what you have to take if you're booking later. Same thing about airline tickets. The least expensive seats on the airline are sold first. And every time a seat sells, the price goes up.
Wait a minute, back up and repeat that before we go to a break. What?
Okay, airline seats.
Yeah.
The price is lowest with the first seat that sells.
Okay.
Every seat that sells costs more than the one before it.
That's interesting. I never thought about that.
So if you buy your ticket a year, well, you can, the earliest tickets sold are 11 months out. So if
Okay.
you buy your seats 11 months out, you're going to get the least expensive seats
Okay.
on the plane.
And of course, the other side of that coin is to take out some travel insurance so that something happens, you can't go, you're covered.
Absolutely.
Yeah. We're going to go to a
Absolutely.
quick break and we'll be right back. And we'll have more information, so stay with us.